Welcome back to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Anime Review, episode number 3. This one, reviewing somewhat of a lot, reviewing the final episode of the first season, the OVA, and 7 specials. You were thinking, 7 specials, these like an hour long? No, these specials are about 3 to 4 minutes tops. Let's talk about the final episode first. This episode covers chapters 19 and 20 of the manga. Yep. And in the case of what happens in this particular episode, we finally get a chance to see the full debut of Toru's father, the Emperor of Despair. Yep. Oh yeah, he's a stereotypical old man with a beard, and he's basically gun-ho about non-interference, and he first kind of takes her by force, and then just while she's out shopping, kind of basically realized that Toru must have gone back home. And, well, without her gone, they can't do any cleaning or whatever. Place becomes a mess. And even though when they had this logo, every episode, they had this where Toru shows up and she burns part of the logo off, she rips it off. Just to do, like, a paper, just to do what the name of the episode is. With her not there, they just basically just rip the thing off instead of her burning it like she usually does. Yep. Then she gets away from her father, and then she's like reunited with him. Of course, she knocks on her door. Of course, she's missing her for quite a while. And then her father shows up, and of course, Kobayashi tries to stand for something. She gets part of her glasses broken off by him, but she sort of blasts her off. And of course, like, okay, this is a confined space. Let's do something else. Let's go by nearby continent. And they start fighting. And Kana basically just, takes Kobayashi to her, and basically Kobayashi makes a good argument with Taru's father. Eventually, he does allow her to say he doesn't approve of it, but, like, okay, fine, you'll come eventually. And then they go back home, and pretty much almost like everything is like back normal. And Kobayashi's like, hey, why don't we go visit let's go visit my child, like kind of like let's go visit. I'm gonna go home. Like, even though that the technically apartment is her house, but basically be her family. And they go, you see the credits roll, they take like about 3 or 4 trains just to get there. They finally get there, and you hear her say, I'm home, and you don't see her parents. But, yeah. I gotta say, for the final episode of the first season of the show, it's really good. It's got a lot of action. It's like they saved a lot of the money they wanted to use. It's like this was the money-saving episode. And it kind of makes sense that this particular two-parter will be adapted for the 2 chapters of the manga adapted for this last episode, because it makes perfect sense to do this for the final episode. Meet Taru's father. Like you read in the manga, it's like you meet him like about 2 years into the series, because the series I think it releases monthly. I think so, yes. Overall, the final episode is really good. As for the OVA itself, this is basically when they go to a hot spring, and yes, this OVA is one of those rare exceptions where it's actually canon because it's adapted from 2 chapters of manga. Chapters 10 and 33. Mainly this one is about Valentine's Day. Yep, give chocolates to the person you like. Yep. Taru makes chocolate to get, Kobayashi to like her. Well, to get her to crave for her body, as she claims it. Yep. And she puts like a love potion there, and then eventually she sort of she gives it to Kobayashi. And, then she just doesn't do much with it. And then Connie goes to school and, given a bunch of chocolates by a bunch of people in her class, including Rico, who eats it. And she's like, and she does this thing where she also, apparently, even though her fingers are in Connie's mouth, she's like, look at, you're like doing her crazy stuff that she normally does. Yep. And then, then she takes time eating it up, though she apparently still has room to have for dinner later. Normally for a kid would basically spoil the dinner, but my guess is because of the dragon, they could probably have a very bottomless stomach. So I was looking for more chocolate. Eventually she finds that chocolate. It's a little bit, it does nothing to her at all. And then Kobayashi eats it. And then apparently the thing was also mixed with liquor as well, so apparently it didn't affect Kana very much. So he's like, I'm gonna lay down, like I'm not feeling well. And then Taru shows up, and then because she's drunk, she basically does this thing where she got drunk, and she basically takes off her freaking clothes. Lucky enough to do this off screen, mind you. And then we have another portion with Valentine's Day where we have the character. Well, Tower makes up another thing of chocolate, and basically Kobayashi's basically her co-worker decides to invite her and her friends to go to a hot spring. So who goes with them besides these two? You have pretty much almost the entire cast go to the hot spring, with the exception of Tyro's father. You have pretty much all four dragons. You have Riko, Sona, and of course Kobayashi. Yeah, pretty much almost the entire cast at this point goes to a particular hot spring. And of course, since most of the cast is made up of girls, with three guys, Fafnir, Tower Crew, and Shona, yeah, they show the boys and all the girls to the other side. And they had this thing where Riko basically starts washing Kana's back because she wants to. Yep. And and then of course, well, Kobayashi pokes fun of Leru, Enma, and Toru over their basically their bust sizes. Yeah, that's what she does in this episode. After they finish the hot spring, they just basically play in the rec room for a while, playing ping pong, and then Toru and Kobayashi go out walking. Of course, Toru takes and basically talk for a little while. And of course, Tower gives Kobayashi her chocolates. She accepts it, and well, then she's like, "It's like I like it." And they even wrote a Miss Kobayashi on the actual chocolate, which unlike when it showed before, where there was no name on it, this time they actually put a name on it. And it looks like though she did not put a love potion in it this time, though this is kind of a follow up what happened at the end of the season, where in the case of what happened when this episode started. Yeah, it's kind of follow up what happened at the end of the season. Like, oh, gotta mention meet parents. Maybe she has to went into Kobayashi's heart because she has to meet her parents. Yep. Overall, great OVA. Now let's talk about these 7 specials. Yes. Names of these specials are the following. To get Double O Maid, Dragon Animal, Dragon Uniform, Dragon Battle, Dragon Sport, Dragon History, and Dragon Wedding. Double O Maid is simply put just various names. They try to change the name for the series to go with name Maid. Yeah. Like one's like a musical, so like that. It's basically the cast is one of just Kobayashi, Kana, and Taru. Eventually with the next episode, and the following ones, Laru basically is this thing. Yeah, surprisingly enough, they throw in like almost the entire cast in these particular ones. With the exception of Riko for some reason. Yeah, she's not in these specials at all. I mean, Fafnir shows up for one of them along with Tenor, I think his name is, the guy who's Kobayashi's co-worker. Yeah, he shows up for one of these little shorts. And it's basically the one where it's Dragon Battle. Along with Enma, she shows up for another episode as well. Yeah, animals basically very different animals, like a cow, and of course Laura basically and of course it has sort of more of the gag they actually started in the series, where anytime she reveals she's new, she's pulled off screen. Yeah, they did this in one episode of the series, and in these shorts, they do like every time she shows up because she keeps basically going butt naked. Yep. And as for some of these other ones, like get to it. Uniform is basically very similar, like a policeman, a nurse, and the nurse and the flight stewardess, yeah, apparently has this thing where it's the same line where Taro thinks that Kobayashi touched her butt, even though she really didn't. Yep. And kind of repeat some of the stuff like sports, like various different sports, like soccer, volleyball, swimsuit, and cheerleader. Mystery is simply just a series of mysteries, like one's like a police procedural and stuff like that. It's a fun one. The wedding one is basically various characters doing like the various wedding rituals of various different countries. Like the first one's a Japanese style wedding. One looks like a Russian wedding. Well, the first one is Enma. Then it's Lou basically does the Aztec one. Kana basically does the Russian one with her and the doll. And of course you have Taru basically doing the American style with the wedding dress. Yep. All these specials are just pure fun. Just hilarious at best. Yep. And as for the whole series as a whole, as since I've finished basically, final thoughts on the series for now, because, well, the series is going to come back. They did release season 2. When it's going to happen? No idea. Probably they were thinking of doing it this year if the fact the fire hadn't started this year, had happened a few months ago. Yep. But I'm sure eventually they'll probably get to it. I haven't heard much anything else. I mean, aside from that recent article about like a kid basically reading from the manga, that was most recent news that this particular series got. And like I said about the feminist joke, it didn't really bother me. No, it didn't. It just basically, for me, when I kind of heard it, it just basically two women saying stuff while they're drunk. And a lot of people probably do this a lot of the time where they're drunk and they actually regret the stuff they say, or they probably don't mean the stuff they say. That's the simply gist of it of how I interpret the feminine, the stupid, the alleged stupid feminist joke. Yep, that's my opinion, anyways. Okay. So yeah, that's it for this particular review, and that's it for now for this particular review series until whenever the series come back. Am I gonna review the actual manga itself? I might, maybe. It depends on my mood. My next anime I'm going to do is The Flames of Recca. I actually watched the first few episodes today. I'm probably gonna review the first. I'm gonna review my first video. Probably either later on tonight or probably do it tomorrow at best. All my reviews for Case Closed My Hero Academia. My next video soon will be a review of a movie review, reviewing the second 300 film, coming 10 years after the last film did. Yeah, as for why they waited so long for the sequel, I have no idea. Okay, but to see you in the next review. Bye.